Welcome anyone that is joined already. We are now on to our sixth live installment of our Chats with Everybody, which is a series of live chats that we've been doing with people in the Pilates industry, trying to continue the conversation surrounding our recent campaign, which was called Everybody is a Pilates Body. So if you haven't seen it, then definitely you need to see it. Look on our Instagram. And it was a campaign focusing on the term Pilates body, a term that's really been focusing on like the aesthetic. And we wanted to turn it around and show that Pilates is for everybody, no matter your race, your ability, your size, your age. And we think that our campaign definitely showcased that. And yeah, we've just been speaking to people in the industry and getting their thoughts and hearing about them, what they think about the campaign. So I'm really excited to chat with Harriet. I don't know
Hello.
how we're going to get through this chat without laughing about
Okay.
something, because honestly, every time that
That's
we
what
work,
the practice was for.
I know,
Yeah,
every time that we're at work, we're definitely laughing about something. She's hilarious.
all
But
day.
she's Harriet is a cherished member of the Nobu Pilates family. How long have you been working at Nobu Pilates, Harriet? Since the start, or
Almost since the start. So I say about just over 3 years.
really?
I
Yeah.
know. I know. So
My
it's been so nice
God.
watching it grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely for you. Okay, so let's get straight into it, and we just want to hear from you, Harriet. What's your background? How did you get into Pilates? And yeah, tell us everything about you.
Yeah. So my name is Harriet. I am, of course, an instructor at Nobu. My journey with Pilates started about 7 years ago now. So before it was as mainstream as it is now. And at the time, there weren't that many studios. So I was really lucky enough to stumble across Pi Studio, which, if you don't know it, is this amazing classical Pilates studio. It's actually where Marsha trained.
Hmm.
And I'm just so grateful that that was my gateway into the Pilates world because it meant I started this journey being trained by incredible instructors and I was learning the classical method, which
Yeah.
is Pilates.
No.
It was actually an injury that had me in that class in the first place. And I always look at that injury as a bit of a blessing because, of course, it was the start of this journey, which is now my career. And, like it wasn't a major injury. It was pretty
What
minor,
did
but
you
I
do?
think at the time I was stuck in a bit of a cycle. I was overtraining really high impact workouts and this enjoyment that I'd always had for movement, it morphed into something less enjoyable. So it was purely aesthetic
Yeah.
focused, which, it works for some people. But for me, it just left me feeling really burnt out and really disconnected with my body.
Hmm.
And then Pilates, right?
I love that.
So yeah, so
What did you do? What injury?
it
What
was
injury did you do?
just dodgy. It was literally overtraining, dodgy
Yeah.
hips, overtraining, wasn't listening to my body.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
overdoing it.
but then, and then Pilates came along
Hmm.
and, I started training at Pi. And honestly, those first few weeks, those first few sessions, I gained so much strength.
Yeah.
And this strength, when it went beyond how heavy I was hitting it at the gym, how fast I was running, and it went beyond what I looked like. It
Yeah.
was this true inner strength. And,
It's a
and it brought me back to
different kind of
myself.
strength,
It's a
isn't it?
different kind
It's
of
like your
strength.
body feels like resilient, but not because you're like
You feel
lifting these like
light,
crazy heavy
strong but
weight.
light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
light, resilient.
It connected me back to my
Hmm.
body. And if you've ever been in a slightly obsessive mindset, which
Hmm.
I probably was at the time, it's really hard to get out of.
Yeah,
And Pilates did that for
yeah.
me. So it changed my life. So
So you
yeah,
knew when you started it, you were like, I love this.
this is
This
it.
is
Yeah,
this. Was you
yeah,
te you
this is it.
wasn't teaching in any other
No,
kind of fitness discipline?
wasn't teaching any. Fast forward 2 years, that's when I took
Yeah.
my fully comprehensive, which, if you don't know, which you obviously know properly, but
Hmm.
if anyone else doesn't know,
Yeah.
it is your reformer, it's your Cadillac, it's your chair, it's your barrels, it's everything. It's really hard.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
it's such a big commitment, isn't it? It's a lot.
it's
How many hours? It's so
a
many hours,
degree.
hundreds of hours that we put
Hundreds
into doing that.
and hundreds of hours, months and months and months, but my God, it's worth it.
And
And, haven't looked
who
back.
did you do your fully comprehensive with?
I did it with Bazzy, which was great.
Mhm.
But I think, like with every course, you just learn the more you're teaching, the more bodies
Yes.
you're seeing.
That's it, isn't
And
it?
yeah,
You can read all of the books, you can read all the manuals and get all
yeah,
the information through
on the
that.
job.
But it is when you start seeing the bodies, like that's when you
Yeah.
really get the
And it's a
experience and get the
practice.
knowledge.
You've got to
Yeah,
practice it
got to
and
keep
get
doing
your
it.
body and, you know.
Yes. So you started at Pi, which is classical studio, and was there? Did you know about like contemporary Pilates, classical Pilates,
I
or did
knew
you?
nothing at the time.
Yeah,
I was just, like I said, I was just so looking back, how lucky was
yeah.
I to have
Oh,
landed in this
amazing.
incredible studio
Yeah,
with incredible instructors who are
yes,
just so well
yeah,
educated. And yeah,
definitely. And then, so do you do all that? I know you train in lots of different disciplines. You do. Are you as like kind of hardcore with your training now, or you obviously you include your Pilates practice now,
oh
so it
yeah,
feels different.
Pilates pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the thing with Pilates, it just makes every other exercise, every form of movement better. You're
Yes.
stronger, more connected, you're better aligned.
Mhm.
And, you know, even with, I love running.
Yeah.
You know, I'm faster. I'm not injured. I did the
You've done
marathon
marathon.
2
Yeah.
years ago.
Insane.
And
And you were
who
back at
else to
work the
put
next day, weren't
back
you?
work
After
the
you'd done the marathon.
next day, 6 a.m. And I felt a, you know, felt a bit tight,
Can you
but
believe that? She was back at work at 6 a.m. the next day after doing the London Marathon.
no.
That
At
is
the time, I was like,
bonkers.
"What am I doing?"
I
But actually,
can't
I felt completely fine. I put that down to Pilates.
believe that's Pilates stage.
I put
But
that down to
we were saying
Pilates.
the other day that I agree. Like I've been adding a lot more training
We have.
disciplines, and
What have we been
my
doing?
body's yeah, like some more strength training, some running, some spinning, and my body's feeling great. But I realize how important it is to do the Pilates, to do the
Yeah.
mobility, to do the stretching, because my body, if I don't, feels so tight.
It's an
So
MOT. It's a body
it's the
MOT.
MOT, yeah, and it's so vital.
Yeah.
You've done your BASI certification, and then did you come to teach straight at Nobu, or was you
I
teaching?
I think that was probably no, that was about 2 years down the
Yeah,
line, I want to say.
yeah,
My math is correct. You know, I did as soon as I started my training, I started working.
yeah.
I like to throw myself
Mhm.
in, you know, head first. And so I was training at lots of studios in London. I was training classes, training clients,
Yeah.
and then yeah, that led to Nobu.
Linking this to our recent campaign, um, what is your experience with the term Pilates body? Have you heard it a lot? Have you had much experience? I can tell you probably had
I
from
roll.
yeah, with your reaction.
Do you
Yeah,
know what? I just do not know what's happened in the past 2 years. And I'm grateful that Pilates is getting the recognition it
yeah,
deserves. But I
100%.
think with that is comes with so much misinformation and a lot of toxic
Yeah,
and
yeah,
dangerous content. So I think now more than ever, we need campaigns like this, and we need highly educated instructors so we can flip this narrative. Because
yeah,
what
yeah.
is a Pilates body? Like, Pilates was created by a man, Joseph Pilates, over 100 years ago, and
Yeah,
his
yeah.
intention was for this to be a universal
Hmm.
practice. So regardless of your body type, your physique, your
Yes.
age, your fitness level, it's to achieve optimal health,
Yeah.
not to get a snatch waist in two
Yes.
minutes.
And I don't know how we've got
No.
here as well. I mean,
No.
social media is a big thing, isn't it? But like through the years from when he created it, how has it like
Yeah.
yeah started to
But you know,
change?
if you don't know, you don't know, right? And you're seeing content on Instagram, you're taking that as oaths. So like you know, like I said, we need campaigns like this, and we need, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
better
really important to
education.
exactly like you said. I think it's really important to educate people in yeah, what is Pilates? Because Marsha was in her previous chat with Christos, she was saying that people are getting confused. Like some people, if they're doing, you know, like kind of the mega former, and then they're coming to our studio, and then
Yeah.
they think they're not doing Pilates,
Yeah,
and
they're like,
it's
why am I
really
not in a plank for
confusing.
15 minutes?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I
no,
think
you're
it's so
working your
much.
body as a whole.
Exactly. It's like the education we have to really push. Personal reasons for training in Pilates. I mean, you kind of touched on it already from, yeah,
I
previous,
mean, there's
previous.
so many reasons. I mean, firstly, if you've done Pilates before, you know that feeling after your session when you're feeling, you know, longer, you're feeling stronger,
Mm,
you've got this full body connection, and it's just there's just nothing else like it.
yeah.
And I think aside from that, Pilates just makes every area of your life better. You know, like we kind of touched on earlier, other forms of exercise, other forms of movement, you're stronger, you're more connected, you've got
Yeah.
better form. and then the discipline and the skill required to,
Yeah.
have a Pilates practice that seeps into every other area of your life, right?
So
It's just
true.
better.
Connecting to everyday life. And I
Yeah.
love that after a Pilates workout, you're like, it's not like other training disciplines where you're feeling like absolutely knackered, like your body's tired.
No,
Like you
no,
have
no.
worked crazy hard doing your Pilates workout, but
Yeah.
you're feeling like rejuvenated. You're feeling like so energized and so much
Yeah,
stronger.
yeah. There's not many practices that have that, and I
Yeah.
think, and it's, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it is hard. It
Yeah.
is so humbling. Your
Mhm.
class on Friday, Poppy. Oh
Yeah.
my God. But you feel so good
Yeah.
afterwards. Nothing, you don't feel
Exactly.
burnt out. And I think I
No.
had, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, I was stuck in that cycle of feeling burnt out after
Yeah.
classes, and I thought that's what I
Yeah.
needed to do.
Yeah, you
And
needed to be feeling like that all the time to
yeah,
feel like you're working your body and you're,
and
yeah.
again,
But
it's this
I think
misinformation.
it's changed where people are listening to their body more and what their body needs, and it is like
Yes.
that little it's that MOT in terms of
Yeah.
Pilates or mobility training, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's
I think it is hopefully.
meditative as well. It's, for someone with a bit of a highly active
Yeah,
brain, it's
yeah.
that hour of the day where you cannot think of anything else.
No, you can't. You need to be like laser
Yeah.
focused into the workout. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what would your advice be for someone that is too nervous to try Pilates, too scared? Um, yeah, what would you say? Why should they try it? Why should they come along?
I would say Pilates Pilates is a lifelong practice.
Mhm.
And go into a class with an open mind. Don't expect to be amazing at everything. Everyone is on their own journey, and we've all got our different strengths, we've got our different weaknesses. And it took me so long to be able to do a lot of exercises, to be able to
Yeah,
get up into a teaser.
yeah,
And that's okay, that's the magic of Pilates. You are learning about your body, you're learning things that you can improve on, and going back, it's a lifelong practice.
yeah. I think that's exactly it, isn't it? Everyone's on their own different like journey and different levels, and
Yeah,
that's
and
okay.
everyone's
You
got a
haven't
different
got
body.
exactly. There's not a cardboard cutout of everyone's got to be a certain way, and you've got to do a
Yeah,
certain thing. It is, yeah.
completely.
Got some questions sent
Okay.
in. So let's go through some of these. One was, what do you find challenging in your own Pilates practice? Whether
I
that's,
mean, kind of goes back to what I just said.
yeah,
There are so many exercises I still
yeah,
struggle with, but I enjoy that
yeah.
challenge. It is, like I said, it's learning about your body, it's learning about things you can improve on.
Mhm.
And it's a practice. There's always going to be things that we need to work a little bit harder on in our
And
bodies.
I think the magic of Pilates is like, if you are not at that exercise, there's another exercise that you can do that's going to build you up for that exercise, and you do it the
Exactly,
system
layer it.
correctly, and you do
Yeah,
it them exercises again and again, and eventually you will get to the correct. You will
yeah.
get that one, or you might not ever be able to do that certain exercise, and that's okay, right? It's
And that is
like
okay,
it's
because
just
there's so many other
so
exercises in
many,
that repertoire that you can do.
yeah, and the apparatus, and go on to this piece to try and improve
Yeah.
this exercise, yeah. Another one we got is, what is your ratio of female to male clients, and do you feel that there is still a barrier between men trying Pilates?
I think there's been a huge improvement in the last year. I mean,
Hmm.
we work in the same place,
Yeah,
so you'll be able to answer this as
yeah,
well. I think there's definitely been a huge improvement. Private clients, I'd say 40, 60.
yeah. Mhm.
Classes, maybe a little bit less.
I was going to say the
Yeah,
same. Yeah, we get, if when men do come through the door, there tends to be more with the one-to-ones. I see less in
exactly.
group class scenarios, and maybe that's because they feel more comfortable just, yeah, training on
Yeah,
their own. But we definitely need to, like, yeah, change that.
there
So a group
definitely needs to be a
class,
change up, because, like I said, Pilates was created by a man. And look, we've got
exactly.
male instructors at
We
Nobu, and
have,
it's
yeah, yeah, and I
just
know the
changing
men
the
still,
narrative that Pilates is yoga,
yeah,
that it is a strength.
gosh.
Because my God, if you've done a Pilates class before, you'll know how untrue that is.
Mhm. And one last question that we got is, how do you honour the Pilates roots and the tradition in your teaching? It's a very good question.
That is a great question.
Yeah,
Um, coming back to the principles, and understanding the why behind each and every exercise, because that why is going to guide you in your session. and it's going to guide you in your classes.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh.
you know, we can, well, I don't really want to throw shapers. No, maybe I won't.
Sip.
Yeah.
No friendship.
Yeah, the why and the
Yeah.
principles. Those are what's going to guide you in your session, in your classes.
I completely agree. Like staying true to the principles and the philosophy, yeah, established by him. I love going through the principles when I'm teaching my classes, like saying the principles, you know,
And you'll
so
notice
people are
the
aware.
shift in the class as soon as you say as well.
Yes,
You'll notice
breathe
the
it like,
shift.
yeah,
Yeah. You
100%.
know, especially
Going to,
towards the end, it's been sort of 30 minutes and stuff. Maybe people are kind of in their head.
yeah,
You sort of come back to their principles, your breath, your control.
yeah,
Instantly, there's a shift.
yeah. And also, I think like staying educated, like training your body, going to people's classes, you know,
Learning.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, learning. Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
lifelong practice, not just teaching it for yourself as well. And
No,
you can't
no,
teach things unless you felt them in your body. So it's really
exactly.
important to stay on top of your own
And that's what
practice.
I loved in, I don't know what your fully comp was like, but my fully comp, it was like you have to do all of these hours of you being the body so you can feel it. Because and
Yeah.
when I did that, that brought up so many more questions about this exercise. Oh, I felt this. Why did I do
Oh,
that? Why did this
completely.
happen? You know, you
Yeah.
have to feel it in your body to know what it's going to feel like in your clients' bodies. You know, you're the
Yeah.
one telling them what
And
to
so
do.
you're able
So,
to adjust them. You're like, oh,
mhm,
they're shifting a little bit this way. I felt
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. Thanks everyone that's been watching. We're going to continue these conversations even more. Watch out for next week. We're going to have another one next week, I think. And then yeah, we've got a few more in the pipeline. If you haven't seen the campaign, then go onto our Instagram page and check that out. And yeah, thank you everyone. Have a lovely Sunday.
Amazing.
Bye, Harriet.
Mwah. Hi,
Mwah.
Pops.